Hey, so I'm back here again in the studio, but this time I got a special treat. I'm here with Elijah McKinney. Some of you might have seen the video a little bit earlier that we did, and I was actually doing an interview, and Elijah rang me while I was actually in the studio, completed his first $11,000 plus week. We really celebrate here at How Insurance Services anybody who cracks $10,000 of premium, which I'll discuss with you in a minute what that means if you don't know. Hey, Elijah, thanks for coming to visit with us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, we're really happy to do that. So, what week was that you did over $11,000 of premium?
That was 4 weeks ago.
Okay, so that was in your 8th week in the business.
Yep.
Just for fun, what did you do this week?
This week I did 10,200 and some change.
12 weeks in the business. 2 weeks over $10,000 of business. Outstanding, first off. Just as a mentor and a friend, congratulations. What an awesome achievement. But to do that at your age, which I already know, but how old are you for the viewers?
I'm 19.
19 years old. Now, I know you have a great head on your shoulders, so it's not like, most 19-year-olds I've seen in my life. I know me at 19, it would have been a train wreck. But at 19 years of age, 2 weeks over $10,000 of premium, there are countless people out there who've done this for years upon years and haven't cracked $5,000 or $6,000, let alone 10.
Yeah.
Here you are 2 weeks. Tell me a little bit about what that feels like, the exhilaration of doing it just in general.
It's so exhilarating. There's very few feelings that are like that. It's just a dream come true. Ever since I was 12, I had always pictured myself, having $10,000 weeks, and I was able to be number one for my first $10,000 weeks, which was a dream come true, and there's no feeling like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just such an accomplishment. Not even just being number one on the How Insurance Services leaderboard, and do it twice in 12 weeks. Is that the right?
Twice within the past 4 weeks. Yeah.
Twice in the last 4 weeks, and in your career of 12 weeks long.
2 out of the 12 weeks. Yeah.
2 out of those 12 weeks. So you're running right around 15% of the weeks that you've been out are $10,000 plus weeks.
That's true. I actually hadn't looked at it that way.
So yeah, this is all about knowing your numbers, folks. That's pretty impressive. So, working hard and playing hard is a big theme of the How Insurance Services staff, of myself, and I've always told you to treat yourself. I know you love shoes. Did you do anything fun with those?
I did. Back when I first started, I had set the goal of my first $10,000 weeks. I was going to create some custom Nikes, and after I did that, right after I had gotten home, I went and got some gift cards and customized them, and I'm wearing them right now.
That's so cool, man. And I know you got the gift cards because you got some fuel points with that too.
You got to get the fuel perks.
You got to get those fuel perks, guys. We were joking a couple days ago about, would you ever go back to an hourly job now that you've kind of seen the light, taken the red pill, so to speak?
Absolutely not. Some of the advantages of working in the field, from going from a salaried job to, we are our own boss right now. So the advantage of that is, working your own hours. Obviously, I work, 50 to 60, maybe even 70 sometimes. And that's what I was working back when I was on salary, working here in the office, and now making a whole lot more money and helping folks out. So I'm loving it.
And do you have a little bit more freedom to call your own shots as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Back when I was salaried, I had a set amount of vacation days. Now I can have however many vacation days I want. Obviously, I'm not going to take a whole bunch because I'm trying to put my nose down and work as hard as I can for the first 12 months. And then, obviously, year 2 and 3, I still work hard, but, I won't have to work as hard. So,
correct. Yeah, you got to kind of build that foundation. So I understand that completely, and as your mentor, that's kind of what I told you to do. So it's a quick example, guys, just on a side note of when somebody listens and follows through and follows our system. Look, you don't have to have sales experience. Elijah, do you have sales experience before this?
I do not.
And you've been around our system for a while, okay? But and you apply yourself by reading books or sales books or things of that nature, right?
Yes.
But never sold anything before. And, there are a lot of people out there that might watch this video that never sold anything before. Is it as hard as it sounds or seems?
Absolutely not, no. With the training system that we have, with the support system of the home office, we're all a team, even though we're competing against each other. You can call any agent's phone number and they're going to give you advice as to how to help you, and if they can't help you, they're going to give you a phone number of another agent who maybe had just overcome that same situation that you did. We're all just a team, but we compete against each other because we're all very competitive, but it's a blast here. I love working here.
There's always going to be some obstacles, though, in general, whether it's territories or areas or what you mail. And I know the biggest part of it is mental. You want to talk a little bit about, some of that stuff and some of the hurdles that you had to overcome in these first 12 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the struggles that I had to overcome early on was, I had the paycheck coming in, so I had to go out there and provide for myself. So that, it was a stretch for me early on. And, I called Dustin one time and I was very frustrated and not really sure. I was doubting myself as to if I had made the right decision. And, Dustin, he talked with me, he's like, the good is going to outweigh the bad eventually here. You might be struggling this week, but that there's always next week, there's always tomorrow. I was taking everything personally in the first week. I wasn't used to sales, so when I got told no, it wasn't what I was expecting because I went in with unrealistic expectations. So that's some of the struggles that I had to overcome, just doubting myself, the voices in my head saying that I shouldn't do it. But, Dustin, and my family, they supported me throughout the first couple of weeks where I was struggling, and now I've got the system down a little bit, obviously still growing, but now I'm definitely a lot more confident thanks to Dustin and just some of the talks that we had. He just let me know that you're a great people person, you love helping people, and you may be struggling now, but, within the next couple of weeks here, you're really going to hit the ground and take off with this thing, and that's exactly what happened.
Right, and it's important to stick to the system. There's a phrase, I've heard it before, but stick-to-itiveness. And you just gotta be tenacious, and you have to have thick skin. You've seen some people who haven't been so nice, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But you've also seen some people who've been pretty nice, right?
Yeah, you run into a lot of mean folks, you run into a lot of nice folks, but yeah, you just can't take it personally. You're gonna get told no, and that's just something that I wasn't used to.
Yeah, there's a lot to dealing with rejection, and we deal with all these things on all the training that we have. I mean, we have plenty and plenty of training to deal with all the stuff that we're covering. And that's the whole point, guys. It's dealing with the person, it's dealing with the process, it's dealing with the system, and understanding how all those things would correlate and work together. It's my job as a team builder, as a manager, as a mentor, as a friend, to help people to grow in the business. And if somebody's willing to take that advice, they can go really far in this business. What was it like when you got your very first paycheck?
It was very exhilarating. I smiled once I saw how much got deposited into my account. You hear about it, and then once it finally happens to you, it's like, oh, yeah, this is real. This is definitely what I want to be doing for a very long time.
Right, and now you see that paycheck, and you think you could ever go back to an hourly?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, in my opinion, commissions is the only way to really get paid what you're worth. If you don't do anything, you're getting paid what you're worth. It's called zero. And if you go out and work hard and you learn the system and do it, you're going to be able to get paid pretty well. And you could probably attest to that too.
Absolutely.
Would you ever come back and work for an hourly job? So what are your thoughts on that? Would you come back and work for, say, double your pay?
No.
How about if I triple it?
No.
Okay. What if I gave you $50 an hour?
That's a solid no.
Okay. 75 or $100 an hour?
Oh gosh, no.
Okay. So you wouldn't take a $100 an hour job at 40 hours a week?
No.
When I think about that, I think about somebody who probably has something that might be worth more than that in what they're doing. I mean, that's obviously some common sense stuff. But I mean, what we have, folks, is I wouldn't either. I was going to tell you, if you take a $50 an hour job and you probably are in a spot where that sounds really good, and I understand that. But we have a freedom that's just not found anywhere else. We have an ability to make so much money so quick and help people that we can make more than that. I believe when I calculate my time, it's worth about $130 to $160 an hour. Elijah, I think, has calculated his time right around $110 to $125 an hour. That about right?
Yeah, that's just right now. It's going to go up.
Right. We have profit sharing. We have back-end pay, which I'll explain. We have the trips that we go on. We have bonuses. There's so many different ways as they just take care of us. They make sure that we can win in life. We believe that you can win. We know we can win, and we want to help you win. Elijah, you got any thoughts or anything you want to share with people out there?
If you're thinking about coming to HIS, stop thinking about it and just do it. It's going to be one of the best decisions you've ever made. We have the best support system. We have the best agents around. If you don't have integrity, if you don't have character, then don't bother with it. And if you don't like helping people, then just go work at McDonald's or something like that. But if you like helping people, if you like making good money, and if you like supporting your family, I definitely give one of our recruiters a call.
Hey, man, we're looking forward to talking to you. Thanks for your time, Elijah. I appreciate you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the top. And you too.